Hello, I'm Naraya.
Hi, I'm Alex.
Hello, I am Carl.
Hi, I'm Lawrence. We are a clan, and this is
Balancing the Books!
Real accounting stories.
Real accounting struggles.
And real accounting success.
So what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of our videocast. This is our 4th episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to our bi-weekly uploads.
Salamat po.
So, in this episode, we will shine a light on the unique journey of an irregular accounting students. We'll hear real stories from a student who have faced challenges, made unexpected choices, and found their own path in the world of accounting. So whether it's juggling work and studies or overcoming setbacks, these experiences show that there's no one right way to succeed. So without further ado, let's dive into hearing these inspiring stories with our special guest.
So, ang special guest natin today, coming from, all the way from FEU Manila.
Uy!
O, diba? Parang,
FEU
FEU Manila, diba? So, let us all welcome Lois Yana Bagalay.
Yay! Hello po.
Hello everyone, I'm Laisiana Bagalay. I'm a third-year student of BSIA, former student of BSA.
So, yan, diba? Parang perfect din siya. Parang lahat naman ng speaker natin, diba? Perfect for our topic. So, yan, Lois, para mas makilala ka pa namin, since ang topic natin ngayon ay related sa accounting. So, unang tanong namin is, why did you choose accounting? 'Di ba? Lahat naman tayo may reason kung bakit natin pinili yung field na 'to. So, 'yun, para naman malaman namin 'yung sa iyo. 'Yan, kwentuhan mo naman kami.
So, hindi naman ganun kalalim yung reason ko. Basically, my father is an accounting student and tackles in the accounting careers. Siguro yun yung kinalakihan kong alam ko and something na alam kong kakayanin ko.
Yes, 'di ba?
And yun, that's why I chose accounting.
So, more on influence ng father, 'di ba? Since accounting student, yun na yung parang, well, 'di ba, common din naman yun kung anong nakikita mo sa bahay nyo,
Yes.
'di ba?
Napag-usapan natin siya on one of the episodes.
Yes, sa episode 1 na pag-usapan natin, and yun,
Yes.
sakto rin sa kwento ni Lois na kaya niya pinili yung accounting since yung father niya. So, let's i-build up naman natin yung kwento since ngayon we are all accounting student. So, how was your experience nung una pa lang? Since 'di ba, senior high, well, magkaklase kami ni Lois, we took ABM Strand. And yun, kwentuhan mo naman kami, ano yung experience mo, ano yung thought mo, since ang reason mo nga kaya ka nag-accounting is dahil sa father mo. So, ano yung experience mo nung tinake mo na yung accounting? Diba?
Overwhelming.
Yes.
Pero it was fun. You can't really put it into words that much. It was, well, first of all, it was fun. We met new people, and also since yun nga, I was an ABM student in senior high, and then at college I took accountancy, so naging smooth lang nung una. It was a familiar path. So medyo comfortable, but at the same time it's a new environment, so I had to adjust a lot of things, but overwhelming siguro kasi it's a different world from senior high, and mas malalim na, mas deep.
Mas mahirap.
I don't know
ganun.
if that's the right word. Yeah, mas mahirap. And
Ako, may question ako, Lois. Okay. May question ako about senior high. Parang narinig ko na naging smooth yung pagpasok natin sa accountancy dahil meron ng background from the ABM. Bukod sa mahirap kaklase si Carl nung senior.
Wala siya sinasabing ganyan.
Ay, wala ba ganon?
po,
Sinisiraan na po siya.
Uy, wala sa script yun ha. Lois, kalma.
Okay. Kasi napag-usapan namin siya nung episode 1. I want to ask your side kung nakatulong ba talaga yung senior high para sa pagpasok mo sa accountancy as a program.
For me, sobrang helpful niya po. Siguro nakatulong na rin na our curriculum in SEU. They accepted kasi na kahit hindi ka ABM student no senior high, kahit iba yung strand na kinuha mo, okay lang kung hindi siya connected sa course na kinuha mo. So ang naging kasi ng curriculum namin is para magsa-start ka sa simula ulit. Mas pinalalim nila while also discussing again what you've discussed and learned in senior high. So for me, mas nakatulong po siya para maging smooth yung transition, because it's like reviewing what you already know, and also deepening your understanding, your knowledge, your learning about certain subjects. For me, yes, mas nakakatulong siya for smoother transition, for mas mapadali yung start mo in college, and I think that's it.
Ayan, okay. Parang, well, iba't iba din talaga tayo ng experience, di ba? Kasi yung na-interview natin nung episode 1 is parang, yung senior high ay parang inulit lang nga. Yes, tama naman na for some, nakatulong talaga. Kasi nga, nagkaroon na ng background and such. And yun, sa FEU nga is parang tumatanggap din sila ng accountancy students na kahit hindi ABM yung strand. So parang nagba-back to basic talaga sila, di ba?
Same lang din sa APC kasi meron talagang other schools na kailangan aligned. So if you would take science-related courses, kailangan nag-take ka ng STEM. If you want to take accountancy, kailangan nag-take ka ng ABM. Other schools, ang ginagawa pagka iba yung kinuha mong strand nung senior high, magte-take ka pa ng additional subjects. Bridging ata, yung tawag doon.
Bridging.
So, ayan, since nagkaroon na tayo ng konting background kay Lois, di ba? Now, let's dive into the topic. Ayan, since ang topic natin ngayon is irregular, we are talking about the experiences of an irregular student. Isa-start natin sa question na, can you share about your journey on how you became an irregular student? Yun, ano yung naging setup and such?
Well, at first, it was scary. Super hindi ko alam kung ano yung i-expect ko. At first, ang iniisip ko lang talaga, I need to take courses or subjects na hindi sabay sa regular programming ng school, and that would entail na most of my classmates won't be someone I knew or someone I'm acquainted with. That would also entail na hindi ako sabay sa friends ko. But then, during the journey naman, wala siya. Like, it's normal. Minsan siguro nakaka-overwhelm because naging irregular student ako due to a failed major subject. That major subject is a prerequisite for a lot of subjects. Those subjects that I could not take due to that failed subject naman, prerequisite din siya for other subjects. So, kaya nung una talaga, sobrang natakot and overwhelmed ako kasi that's a lot of subjects na kailangan kong i-keep tabs, kailangan kong i-plan ahead kung paano ko siya gagawin ng ako lang, since it would not be planned by the department, by the school. Then during the journey it's just a normal experience of a student. Iyon, nakaka-overwhelm lang talaga siya minsan because as opposed to irregular student, ako yung plano ng kung ano yung mga kukunin ko subjects, and I can choose not to really abide by the recommended schedule of the school, such things like that.
Well, yun nga, parang you need to adjust din talaga. Kasi, yun, first, sa schedule, well, ang pagkakaalam ko kasi kapag a regular student, ikaw talaga pipili ng, yun nga, sabi nila, is ng schedule mo na hindi siya same doon sa mga regular. 'Di ba? Parang yan most of the time siguro magkakaroon ka ng schedule na gabi or sobrang aga. Ang hirap din talaga maging irregular kasi yun, first of all, mag-a-adjust ka. 'Di ba? Mag-a-adjust ka ng schedule and yun, sabi mo rin yung mga na meet mong people ay bago lang. 'Di ba? And parang kanina nasabi mo sa introduction mo na you are now an internal audit student, 'di ba? So, paano naman nangyari 'yon?
It's just been like a few weeks since I've been a BSIA student. I failed a qualifying exam, so I had the option either mag-shift ako ng course or lilipat ako ng school, and I chose na mag-shift na lang since for me it's the easiest option and it's the fastest option since it's already enrollment then ayoko na rin ma-hassle.
Tsaka, reason mo din is not na hindi sumuko dun sa dream of being an accountant someday for sure.
Kasi 'di ba pag naging internal audit student ka, pwede ka pa rin maging CPA.
Yes.
Yes, 'di ba sa FEU Manila, sa FEU, yun nga mayroon silang qualifying exam. Sa amin kasi wala kaming qualifying exam eh. So, sa FEU kapag hindi nga pumasa ng qualifying exam, parang you are not allowed. Tama ba?
You're not eligible na to take.
continue.
Tarong natin si Lois. Ano ba nangyayari sa qualifying exam kasi hindi kami super familiar.
Yes, kasi wala kaming qualifying exam eh. So, tell us more about it.
So basically, qualifying exam is an exam that you take before you advance to the next level, next year, ganun. Basically, medyo may pagkakaparehas siya sa theory exam. I think ng nursing or either medtech, I can't remember which. So sa FEU kasi, ang curriculum nila ngayon is you have to take 2 qualifying exam. The first one is before you advance to the second year, and the second one before you advance to the third year, and then after that, puro na comprehensive exams. What happens in the qualifying exam is that lahat ng subject na na-take nyo before is kailangan nyo i-exam in 1 day. And I think, if I remember correctly, it's a 75% passing grade. And if you did not make the cut, automatically, hindi ka na qualified to enroll for accounting in FEU. So it's, as I've said, you had the choice, the option to either transfer schools and start again if you still want to continue the BSA program, or you also had the option to shift to another course, to another program. So, yeah.
May question ako about it. Parang na-bring up kanina ni Carl about dun sa kahit nag-shift ka na to another program, in this case ay internal audit, pwede ka pa rin maging BSA? Paano nangyayari yun? Can you tell us more about it?
I can't remember if tama yung name na babanggitin ko, but I think there's a double degree program. Is that pinayagan or meron yung FEU ng double degree program wherein, but I think you can mapagsabay like yung BSIA and BSA, though I'm not sure if like yun lang yung option, but I think BSIA is like the closest to accountancy, so yun yung madalas na pag-uusapan. And I've had a prof second year na nakabutan niya yung double degree, so she is a CIA and CPA.
Pare naman.
Yeah, so yun, since internal auditing is like the closest to accountancy since they have like same subjects mostly.
So, yun nga, Loy, since sinabi mo kanina na since yun, nag-shift ka nga sa internal audit, and I assume na want mo pa rin maging CPA. Tama ba?
Honestly, ngayon, I'm really thinking about it. Like, I'm planning to like learn about it more, to plan about it more. Cause nung una talaga, like when I requested to shift from the department, I had that plan na after ko makagraduate ng BSIA, iti-take ko ulit yung accountancy, and from that, I'll try to do my best not to just continue that path. But right now, I'm having second thoughts about it. I'm having doubts. Siguro ano ko na lang siya when I graduate. But for now, pag-iisipan ko na lang talaga ng mabuti since I'm receiving a lot of knowledge, a lot of learnings within this course, and a lot of opinions din siguro from other people, from the professors, from my friends, classmates. So yeah, I need to plan it out pa and to study about it.
Okay, I mean, marami ka pa namang time para mag-isip, 'di ba? Marami pang time. I mean, may matatanggap ka ulit mga opinions, and 'di ba, magkakaroon ka pa ng time para mag-decide for yourself. I mean, ito, I'm sure na you are aiming to graduate, 'di ba? I mean, lahat naman tayo, kaya tayo nag-aaral.
oo naman.
I mean, sino ba nag-aaral na ayaw graduate, 'di ba? So, ayun, syempre, yun nga, meron ka pa ring goal na matapos itong like studies. Kapag may goal, hindi naman maiwasan na magkaroon ng challenges, 'di ba? Para ma-meet yung goal na 'yan. And yun na yung next question ko. What are the challenges? Since yun nga, a regular student and nag-shift sa another course. So, anong mga bagong challenges na na-receive mo?
Challenges. Mostly, since yung nabanggit ko kanina schedule, you have to plan out your schedule talaga, and yung subjects and courses na iti-take mo within a semester, you have to prioritize, you have to plan it out. Besides the schedule, new environment din siguro since mostly ng mga sections or blocks, madalas magkakakilala na, and kasi parang sila din yung magkakasama sa iba't ibang subjects, ganyan. But when you're an irregular student or kapag nag-shift ka, iba-iba per subject, per like, since yun nga, hindi nakaset yung schedule mo with others na kaparehas mo, ganyan. So, most ng challenges na naranasan ko is about doon naman. And siguro yung ano din, I think yung pinakamalaking challenge para sa akin is if I would be able to graduate on time. Since nabanggit mo nga kanina yung about graduation and all. Yeah, if I would be able to graduate in time, like along with my batchmates, with my peers. Nung una kasi, well, like, nung mga early days pa na naging irregular student ako, like, nagsisink in na talaga sa akin na I might be late for like one sem. But now, since I've shifted, there's some courses, some subjects that I was not able to take, na na-take na ng mga regular students, ganyan. So, it might take a little bit more time, and kailangan ko siyang habulin if I do want to graduate on time. And yeah, I think that's one of my biggest challenges because syempre gusto ko rin naman na maranasang magmarcha or whatever. Since kahit hindi na siya para sa akin, but I want my parents to to have that chance to na maimarcha ako when it comes to graduation. So, I think that's all naman.
If you don't mind us asking, ano yung na-fail mong subject?
I failed in TAC 1, intermediate counting 1.
Hala.
Yun ay killer subject talaga kahit sa amin. Kasi ang laging sinasabi sa amin ay yun kasi yung first actual accounting major
Yes,
subject.
kasi yung una, di ba, mga fundamentals pa
Oo,
lang.
mga ABM things.
O mga debit credit pa
Oo.
lang, di ba?
Patikim pa lang.
Oo, patikim pa lang sa hirap.
So, nasampulan ka ng Intac 1.
Agad, sinampulan niya agad ako.
Yun nga kasi, well, sa atin din, sa experience natin, sa section natin, di ba, ay
Half.
maraming nangalahati
Kalahati yung
kami. Yung class
nalagas.
namin ay nangalahati, intact 1 pa lang.
Battery exam. Boom.
Wala ka kaming qualifying exam, wala kaming
Every
battery
quiz
exam.
ay battery exam.
Ayun, kalahati talaga. So, well, yun nga, nasabi mo rin na yun din ang challenges din. Kapag naging irregular student ka, hindi ka gagraduate on time. Na compared sa kasabayan mo nung una. Pero yun, hindi naman ibig sabihin na you're, di ba, hindi ka gagraduate. Parang may sarili-sarili lang talaga tayong pace.
True.
Di ba? Yung iba, siguro, okay, tuloy-tuloy lang. Pero ikaw, na-delay ka lang ng konti. Pero yung end goal pa rin natin is, nandun pa rin, hindi pa rin naman nawawala. Parang, okay, nahuli. And,
Yung
ayun.
FEU ba, trimester or semestral?
Usually, hanggang second sem lang.
Oh, so
Hanggang
semestral.
second sem lang. But then, yung accountancy kasi, and within some other programs din, nagkakaroon ng mid-year, which I think is para na rin trimestral.
Oh.
Summer ba yun?
Major, parang summer ata tinitaken. Sa summer ba tinitaken?
Yeah, summer. Summer, but then since siguro nabago yung school year, yung date ng school year, naging mid-year siya.
Ibang klase talaga yung accountancy. Ayaw patali. Papahinga mo na lang
Summer, lalangoy ka na dapat sa dagat doon. Di ka nang nag-aaral ka pa.
Sa APC nga 3 months per term. Then, 10 months in total, 10 months ba?
Kasi may mga nag-overlap.
Oo. So, bandang huli, 1 month lang talaga yung bakasyon namin.
So yun nga, tapos isipin mo, what if nagkaroon pa tayo ng mid-year?
Kaya
mag-aaral na lang
wala
tayo
na,
habang
buong
buhay.
taon ka nang mag-aaral.
So, ayun, since yun na, naging irregular student ka and nag-shift ka, may mga bago kang experiences. So, syempre may expectation ka din. No? Since nung nalaman mo, hala, okay, I need to shift. 'Di ba? I need a regular student ako sa schedule. May expectation ka din sa mangyayari. So, ano yung, unexpected part ng pagiging irregular student? Since yun nga, 'di ba, expected na, okay, malilate ako ng graduate. Yung schedule ko is mag-iiba. 'Di ba? May mga ganung expectation na. So, ngayon, ang tanong naman namin is, ano naman yung unexpected part?
Honestly, kasi wala akong maisip na unexpected since I have friends na naunang maging irregular sa akin. Nauna silang mag-shift. So like they tell me yung mga experiences nila, yung kung ano yung napagdaanan nila nung nag-shift sila, nung naging irregular sila. So nung naging irregular ako or nung nag-shift ako, parang normal na lang.
Parang ready ka na?
Oo, parang ready na ako. Parang ni-ready nila ako, ganun.
Which is, parang aligned din sa goal ng podcast natin, di ba? Parang, yun nga, since nasabi mo, may mga friends ka na nag-share ng experiences sa'yo. And ito, yung goal naman ng podcast namin is to
Stand.
extend. Ito, nagkikwento tayo ng mga experiences ngayon para, syempre, maging way din kami, ganun, like para ma-share yung experiences, para ma-ready rin yung mga expectations nila, na which is nangyari sa'yo, di ba? And yun, ang effect sa'yo is naging ready ka na when you shift sa another path.
So, na-mention mo kanina na Intac 1 ka, na nalugi. Wow.
Nadala ka.
Nadali ka ng Intac 1, but when ka nag-shift, anong subject ka na nung nag-shift ka? Di ba tinake mo si Intac 1? Nag-proceed ka pa kay Intac 1 the next term, ay next sem.
Yes.
Pero
Yes.
anong subject ka na nung naisip mong mag-shift ka na lang?
Intac 3. Like, right after ng Intac 2.
Bale sa qualifying exam talaga yung reason. Kasi, syempre, yun na yung, anong tawag dito? Rule? Or sistema? Yan, sistema sa school nila. Since kapag hindi pumasa, is you need to shift or transfer ng ibang school para mag-take ng accounting.
So, wala kasi ako alam sa qualifying exam eh. Like, on the spot ba yung results niyan?
Sa regular qualifying exam, sometimes it takes days. Nung first qualifying ko, it took us, I can't remember kung tama, but I think 3 to 4 days. Or 2 to 4 days. I think around that time. Pero, kasi this qualifying exam, nung nag-shift ako, special exam kasi yung kinuha ko, which is for those na hindi able na mag-take ng exam in their regular time or in their regular program. Since ayun nga, may failed subjects ako and may subjects ako that I was not able to take. And those subjects were important na mag-take mo before mag-take ng qualifying exam, since that will be the cover, that will be what the exam will be about. Nung nag-take ng special qualifying exam bago mag-advance ng third year, only took hours. Like, pag-uwi namin, kinagabihan, may result na agad. May email na kaagad. But I think for the regular students, it took a day bago ma-email sa kanila yung results.
So, nung na-email ka, wait lang. May anong expectation mo doon nung habang nagtitake ka ng exam mo?
O syempre, di
Oo.
ba, habang nagtitake ka ng
Parang
exam,
papasa ka
ma-assess
ba
mo na.
or wala na talaga? Anong nasa isip mo that time?
Like, wala na. For me, hindi ko alam kung, like, habang nagsasagot talaga ako, I was thinking, okay, ito na to. Like, this is it. Ang laki ng kutob ko na that I will not be able to pass this. And if I did naman, syempre, that I would gladly continue the program, the course. But iniisip ko rin talaga na ang laking chance na hindi ko siya mapapasa. So, I think nasa acceptance stage na ako nung time na nagsasagot ako ng exam.
Doon pa lang
Ang bilis
acceptance stage na.
Um,
Pero yun, syempre, I'm sure, lahat naman tayo sure na you did your best. 'Di ba? Exam, parang doon nakasalala yung, yung path na iti-take mo, 'di ba? Yun nga, gusto mo rin naman ituloy yung accountancy program. And yun, you did your best naman na sagutan yung mga questions. And we know naman, lahat naman ng accountancy students alam na yung mga questions sa accounting, 'di ba? Yung mga quizzes pa lang natin
Pamatay na.
every week or every 2 weeks ay pamatay na. How much more yung qualifying exam, 'di ba? So mahirap din talaga. Well, that's okay. Parang it's something na siguro well, may kasabihan na naman ako.
Ano na naman yung kasabihan na yan?
Hindi ko na ulitin yung mga sinabi kong kasabihan. Everything happens for a reason. 'Di ba? Maybe you're more perfect sa internal audit. Well, hindi pa naman natatapos dito yung journey mo as, 'di ba, maging CPA. And yun, pinag-iisipan mo pa naman. And okay, next question na parang naisip ko. Syempre, nagbago yung, since nung nag-shift ka, nagbago yung schedules, nagbago yung, siguro mga nakakasama mong people. Ano naman yung nagbago sa sarili mo? 'Di ba? Kasi, syempre, nung una pa lang, accountancy program, parang may habits ka na ginagawa. And, siguro, attitude. May attitude ka nung accountancy program. And ngayon, na nag-shift ka, 'di ba, may bagong, may bagong insight for you. Anong nagbago?
Siguro yung I'm starting to plan ahead na talaga ever since. Because, kasi ako, like, more on go with the flow. So, I don't really like to plan things out. Lalo na if, like, in the future pa. Like, I just want to enjoy things as they were in the present. And experience it in that time. So, ever since siguro, nung shift, nung transition na to, I really started to plan ahead, to prioritize more. Yun, talagang pagpa-plan. Siguro if naririnig ko yung sarili ko, naririnig ng dating ako yung sarili ko ngayon, tatawa lang ako because I really don't like to plan things out. Yun na yung pinakamalaking pagbabago sa akin ngayon.
So, nakaka-mature talaga yung college, no? Ang bilis. Kasi pag senior high, parang hindi mo ramdam eh. Pag college, ramdam mo na yung impact eh. Parang ibang-ibang tao ka na today kaysa nung first year ka. Feeling ko nga super naggurang ako eh. Simula nag-first year ako ng...
Tumanda agad.
Biglang tumanda. Well, mag-take ka pa lang ng accountancy program, nakakatanda na.
True.
Diba?
Nakakalagas po siya ng buhok.
Totoo, guys.
Charot lang.
Literal yun.
Grabe lagos ng buhok ba?
Tingnan mo yung buhok nila.
Grabe ba?
Tumataas na po yung hairline niya.
Pero yun nga, since yan na, kwento na rin ni Lois yung experiences niya being an irregular student. 'Di ba? Parang, well, may matitake naman tayo na may mga pros and cons of being an irregular student. Well, yun nga, ang una, 'di ba, emotionally, mentally, nung una, syempre, magta-transition ka from, 'di ba, iba yung buhay mo before eh. Tapos
Definitely.
biglang lilipat ka ng like ibang routine, yung schedule, 'di ba? Yun, nagbago agad yun.
New people. Grabe
Yun.
yung new people.
New people din. Yun, imagine, parang for 2 years, parang same people yung nakikita mo everyday sa school. 'Di ba, nakakasama mo friends, kasama mo mag-aral, kasama mo kumain sa labas. Then, kapag nag-shift ka, iba yung schedule mo, syempre, mahihirapan na kayong mag-meet nung mga dati mong kasama. So, yun, parang isa rin yun sa cons. And yun na, adjustments, struggles, 'di ba? May mga bagong struggles din naman, may mga napagdadaanan ka ngayong regular student ka compared sa nung regular student ka. Pero hindi lang naman lahat ay cons, 'di ba? Hindi lang naman cons. May mga pros din naman, like gagraduate ka pa rin naman. 'Di ba? Hindi naman naging irregular student, parang stop na yung journey mo.
Yes.
'Di ba? Gagraduate ka pa rin naman. Tsaka yun, na-mention din kanina na may bagong people ka makikita, which is not totally a con. Yeah, bad. 'Di ba? Parang mas mas magkakaroon ka ng mas malawak na connection. 'Di ba? May kilala ka na before, then ngayon may makikilala ka naman na bago. 'Di ba? 'Yun, parang hindi siya totally bad. Parang may good side na naman siya. And yun, siguro isang pros then is may more time.
To
'Di ba?
prepare.
Yes, more time to prepare. And yan, parang mas natuto ka nga since na may na-experience ka before. Then parang may pagkukunan ka ng something na lesson, 'di ba? So for the next na experience, 'di ba? Parang alam mo na yung gagawin.
Madalas ko yan naririnig sa mga kilala kong irregular people na after experiencing this na yun nga failing a subject or even yung midterm grades na failing, ikaw ay matatawanan na kailangan palang galingan pa.
Diba,
Tapos
minsan
may
kasi-
kita may bubuga mo.
Yun nga, minsan kailangan mong sapakin ng katotohanan bago ka magising sa kung anong dapat mong gawin.
May ma-unleash yung totoo mong capacity, makakaya mong gawin.
May mga person kasi na kailangan muna nila bumagsak eh bago sila ma-motivate.
Sorry, be.
Ano kung laging baksak?
Hindi naman yung bagsak na R, pero yung bagsak na sing nag-fall ka sa Parang kailangan niya muna madapa bago matutong
Yes, may mga ganong tao din. Well, ako, feeling ko ganon ako eh. Parang hindi mo rin kasi ma-realize minsan na itong ginagawa ko ay mali. Or, I mean, yes. Di ba, habang ginagawa mo, parang, okay lang to. Pero since, yun nga, na-experience mo na yung ganito, like, na-experience mo ng, sige, for example, bumagsak. Di ba, pag may quiz, pag bumagsak, sasabihin mo, okay, mag-aaral na ako next time.
Bawi ako.
Bawi ako next time. Yun, parang kailangan din talaga natin ng, siguro, trigger point para
So,
better sa sunod.
may nagbago ba sa study habits mo nung accounting ka versus ngayon?
I can't really say since hindi pa kami ganun kalalim.
Ka-intense?
Yes, hindi pa kami ganun ka-intense. And basically, nag-start pa lang yung second sem and nag-start pa lang yung journey ko talaga as an IA. And hindi pa halos lahat ng prof ko, hindi pa nagle-lesson talaga masyado. More on orientation, meeting the class. So, I can't really say pa.
So, yung iba kasing school, hindi available yung course na IA, no? IA. Yung iba, nag-shift to, anong course yun? Management accounting.
Sa amin, management accounting.
Can you introduce yung IA nga, be?
What's with the course?
Well, ayun, guys, for context, bago pa lang din siya sa IA, 'di ba? So, siguro so far, ano yung nalalaman mo about IA, yung experience mo of being, studying internal audit?
So, ang pinakauna niya siguro is super close niya talaga sa accounting. Like, most of our subjects ngayong SEM, kaparehas lang ng subjects ng accountancy students. One of the big differences siguro is internal auditing is much more hands-on when it comes to like making decisions, and because one thing na sobrang tumatak talaga sa akin, I think one of the professors told me this phrase na not verbatim, but I think sinabi niya na parang, just for clarification, this is not like parang pasaring sa BSA students. Parang sinabi niya na sa accounting, pipirma ka lang, ganyan. But when it comes to internal auditing, you would have a part in deciding mismo. So, yun siguro yung pinaka-tumatak sa akin. Because ang pinaka-natatandaan ko sa accounting is you'll analyze the financial
Transactions.
part. Yes, like yung financial part talaga ng mga transactions, situations, gano'n. Pero sa internal auditing, ang pagkakaalam ko, it's not just about analyzing those situations, but also using analyzing those transactions, but also using them to, I think really, basically, siguro yung pinaka-summarize ko na talaga is, mas part ka ng decision making.
So, yun nga, since na-share na ni Lois yung experiences niya, yung journey niya, 'di ba? Yung kwento niya of being an irregular student from, 'di ba? From being BSA then transitioning to IA since yun nga naging irregular. Well, it doesn't mean naman na you're less of a person doon sa mga regular student, 'di ba? Parang iba lang talaga yung pacing. 'Di ba? Kasi yun nga nakwento naman ni Lois yung story. Nakwento yung story niya. Inulit ko pa.
Ang kulit! Ang kulit!
Yun nga, nakwenta na ni Lois kung bakit siya nag-shift. And yun nga, meron din namang ibang irregular student na may sarili-sariling kwento. 'Di ba? May mga kilala kami na irregular student kasi yun nga, nahirapan i-balance. Lalo na yung mga working students.
Grabe yung working students.
Yes, 'di ba? Parang yun din mostly ang kwento, parang nahirapan i-balance yung study and work. 'Di ba may mga ganong kwento, parang common siya sa mga irregular students. And yun, masasabi ko lang may kanya-kanya talagang kwento, and it doesn't mean na you're less of a person sa mga regular student. And yun, ang importante naman, you're still going. 'Diba?
Tuloy lang ang laban.
Yes, nag-aaral pa rin naman and you didn't stop. And ayun.
Last question. Siguro, last question, Lois. Since pagka naging irregular student ka kasi, mas kailangan mo maging organized on things. So, how do you plan? How do you plan out na, yun, di ba, ang goal natin ay sana makasabay pa rin sa graduation ng, yung original graduation natin. So, pag naging irregular students, kailangan well-planned yung pag-choose natin ng subject. Ano yung mga consideration? Dapat ba may friends ka dito? Paano yung scheduling? Meron ako mga kilala na nagre-request ng subject. Nangyayari ba yun sa FEU? Paano yung strategies mo when it comes to this with organization?
Pinaprioritize ko siya first if if prerequisite ba yung subject and if kailangan ko ba siyang kunin before ako kumuha ng ibang subjects, ganyan. And pero yung I think yung pinaka inano ko ngayon is if may kilala ako or if may friend ako. Because as I've said nga, most naman ng mga friends ko is naunang mag-shift or mag-ireg, ganyan. So, I think yun yung isa sa pinaka main factor ng pag-strategize ko ngayon, pag-prioritize ko on what subjects, on how I will organize my schedule, plan my schedule. And then, yes, actually, nangyayari yung pag-request ng subjects and depende siya sa department if they will open a slot for that subject because depende pa rin naman kung ilang students yung mag-take. Ayun, yan. Para sa pala siya ng Depende rin pala. Part ng pag-strategize ko is yung department din. Kasi, depende rin sa, like, kung i-approve nila yung mga requests mo. Like, for me, ngayon, nag-request ako for additional load para ma-max out ko yung 25 unit hours ko. Kasi, for this semester, we were only allowed 22.5 units. But, gusto ko sanang i-maximize para makuha ko rin yung mga bulk subjects na hindi ko nakuha before ako mag-shift. So, yun. Kailangan na rin siyang i-take into consideration kasi like sa akin hanggang ngayon, hindi siya na-approve. And patapos na yung adjustment, so baka talaga hindi na siya ma-approve and that means kailangan ko ulit mag-strategize or mag-organize kung paano ko gagawin, kung paano ko siya iti-take sa mga susunod na semesters.
Grabe yun, no? 25 units. Ang maximum na units natin na take ay 23. And super nakapagod. Ilang subjects yung 25 units?
And kasi since may WRP pa rin kami, which is something like PE, and like that's 1.5 units. And
May question.
ang subjects ko ngayon, around 8.
8 nga, no?
8 subjects.
Take ka ng 8 subjects, parang
Sa atin ngayon, 6 ayoko na.
grabe subject, sobrang bigat na nun. Diba?
So, may PE kayo. I heard na kapag nasa FEU ka, hanggang 4th year daw, may PE kayo.
Uwe ba?
Yes, hanggang 4th year and every semester, like, kailangan mong mag-take ng WRP.
Kaya siya 1.5 units. So, required kayo hanggang 4th year. No, imaginein mo, magcha-cha-cha kayo, no? Tapos, next subject mo, internal audit.
Okay yun, at least pag-graduate mo, may may career ka na, pwede ka maging basketball player, volleyball player. Isipin mo hanggang 4th year nag-PPE ka.
Anong ma-advise mo dun sa mga irregular students? Kasi 'di ba, pag sinabing irregular, parang ang negative agad ng naiisip ng tao eh. Pero hindi naman ganun yung katotohanan pag irregular ka. So, ano masasabi mo doon sa mga students na irregular? To motivate them or to parang clear out something, ganon.
Ano lang siguro, don't be afraid. Like, yun yung circumstance talaga na mangyayari sa'yo ngayon. Like, just pursue it, take it na nakakis noo. Because as you said kanina, may negative connotation yung irregular student when in fact you're still just a student. Sadyang hindi ka lang nakasunod sa recommended ng school, sa recommended ng program. So like there's really not much of a difference naman talaga. As you've mentioned din kanina, there are pros and cons. There's also those things naman if you're a regular student. And so yun, just don't be afraid. Meet new people, experience new experiences, learn from your experiences.
So, parang sa madaling salita, own it, no?
Yes.
Own it.
Yes, ayan nga. Thank you, Lois, for sharing your story. Yung mga nakwento mo is parang bago rin sa akin. Since wala naman ako masyadong, yun nga, experience. Parang kasi, ang regular student, ang pinagkaiba niya lang talaga is basically schedule. Right, since nasabi mo nga na you're still a student. 'Di ba? Wala namang masyadong pinagkaiba na, yan ang nasabi ni Raya, na parang pag sinabing irregular ay may negative na sabihin natin parang nare-relate siya sa negative, which is hindi naman dapat, 'di ba? Kasi you're still a student and ang importante is you are still going, 'di ba? Ang goal natin graduate pa rin naman. And yun, I think yun, tatandaan lang din naman natin lahat is we are all doing our best. 'Di ba? Ikaw, you did your best. Tayo, we are doing our best. So, ayun, may sarili-sarili lang talaga tayong pace. Ayun, thank you, Lois, for sharing your story.
Thank you.
And with that, meron pa kami. May isang segment pa kami. Fast Talk.
Fast talk.
May prepare kaming question. So, parang answer as fast as you can.
Ready na?
Yes.
Hindi, ready yan.
Ready yan. First question. First word that comes to mind when you think about being irregular.
First word. Blank po ako.
5, 4.
3. Wala, di na siya fast.
Schedule. Study method. Solo study or group study?
Group study.
Ooh. Time management. Digital planner or paper planner?
Paper planner.
Class preference. Mixed classes or same batch classes?
Wow. Mix.
Oh. Favorite subject. Theory or practical application?
Practical application.
Biggest challenge. Time management or course load?
Time manage.
Family support or peer support?
Peer support.
Personal goals or external rewards?
Sino words?
External rewards. Visual learning or auditory learning?
Visual.
Tutors or online resources?
Online resources.
How do you handle stress? Exercise or meditation? Depende sa PE, no?
Pag PE, exercise. Pag walang PE, meditation.
Ano sagot ni Lois?
Kain ko. Nagsistress eating ako.
None of the above. Nasa other siya. Academic achievement or personal growth?
Personal growth.
Advice for new students, stay organized or stay flexible.
Stay flexible.
Prioritize classes or complete your assignments.
Complete your assignments.
So, absent ka na to complete na yung assignments. Quiet room or coffee shop when it comes to studying.
Coffee shop.
Finish the statement. Being an irregular student means choose between embracing challenges or finding unique paths.
Hindi unique pa.
Yay! With that, thank you Lois for accepting our invite. 'Di ba? Parang we are very thankful talaga. Na yun,
New perspective.
yes, parang na-share mo yung experiences mo sa amin and syempre sa iba rin. 'Di ba? And
Yes, and for you to share your story, napakahalaga sa mga makikinig sa'yo, no? And before we wrap this episode, no, may gusto ka bang pasalamatan or anything to promote?
Thankful ako. Well, first of all, thank you din sa inyo for listening to my story and for doing this to help other students. And thankful ako sa circle of friends ko for really helping me na mag-go through sa journey na to, and for my family, lalo na sa parents ko, for supporting me all throughout. That's all.
Nice one.
thank you Lois, and with that, 'di ba, parang to show na na-appreciate talaga namin yung pag-share mo ng story. We have a certificate of appreciation na ito. Virtual muna siya. Dito ko ba siya ilalagay? Yan, dito ko siya i-edit. Ayan, this certificate is presented to Miss Lois Yana Bagalay in grateful recognition for valuable contribution as a guest speaker in the video cast entitled Balancing the Books. Signed, Carl Gerald Magallanes, Niraya Nicole Chatenya, John Lawrence Silagan, and Maria Alexandra Platon. And yun, yay! Thank you, Lois. And yun, meron pa kaming may surprise. Well, may surprise na ibibigay. May gift. Small gift lang naman na,
Of appreciation.
yes, i-deliver sa'yo. Wow. And, ayun. Tapos na. Yan, thank you, Lois.
Maraming salamat.
Talaga. Parang,
Then po,
So for me, ang key takeaway ko is yung struggle niya sa pag-organize ng schedule. Kasi hindi ko naman na-experience yung difficulty nung task na yon, since kapag nag-enroll kami sa portal, usually enter na lang yung gagawin namin, or I would like to enroll na lang. But since ay nga yung circumstance niya, siya mismo kailangan mamili ng courses niya na hindi hindi sasabay sa course ng mga regular students. So another thing is that sa point pa lang ng qualifying exam, may realization na siya, and na-accept niya na agad, na-foresee niya na yung future niya na hindi siya papasa, and that she accepts it. For me kasi, hindi ako madaling mag-accept. Madalas, nag-wonder ako sa in denial stage, no? Parang masyado ko nilulugmok kapag hindi ko na-achieve yung goal ko, and that mas nakakahinder yon for me, and nakakatuwa sa kanya kasi ang bilis niya lang matanggap, no, and progress siya, nakaka-move forward siya agad.
Yung follow-up ko lang dun sa scheduling part ay, on the other hand naman, since irregular student din ako, na-experience ko yon, yung mag-plot ng mga subjects. Tapos, chine-check ko pa yung course flow chart ko kung ano bang dapat kong i-need na i-take para hindi ako mahuli. Yun nga, may mga times talaga na pag nag-enroll ako ng subject, minsan hindi maiwasan yung mag-enroll ka ng isa lang, dalawa lang. Kasi, yun lang yung ino-offer yung term na yon, and sometimes you have to wait 3 months pa every term. So minsan, hindi pala minsan, parate. No? Nakaka-frustrate yun. Kasi you have to wait, tapos ito lang yung subjects mo. Nagkakaroon ako ng sense of urgency nun na makagraduate agad. And yun, yung napulot ko kay Miss Lloyd na being an irregular student is not a bad thing. It does not mean na you're a bad student. It just means na natapa ka lang, pero you're still growing, you're still learning from your experiences. And I believe na in one of those weakness, in one of those lowest times of your life, yun yung nagbe-build ng character sa atin. No? Yun yung nagbe-build ng ating maturity. Yun lang naman akin.
And ayun nga, as Ate Alex mentioned about maturity, when we're in college, it's different. Mas mabilis tayo mag-mature cause mas maraming challenges ang nahaharap natin compared when we're in elementary or when we're in high school, no? Nandito rin kasi tayo sa stage na adulting, na-introduce na tayo sa bridge to becoming an adult, and that hindi lang din ACADS yung pwede nating prioritize, no? Kung hindi para sa yung isang bagay, then you can shift to another one na mag-open ng mas maraming opportunities sa'yo, no? Like, for regular students, minsan, hindi destined sa kanila yung course, kaya sila nadapa. Then, inintroduce sila dun sa course na kukunin nila ngayon. And that's why, hindi entirely bad ang maging irregular. It's not bad, guys.
For me naman, ang nakuha ko talaga is walang masyadong difference naman of being an irregular sa regular student. Well, maliban sa schedule. 'Di ba? Sa schedule, sa subjects na tinatake, yun lang, that's it. You're not, yung mga irregular student are not less of a person dun sa mga regular student. 'Di ba? Yun lang naman yung pinagkaiba. We're still student. Yun nga, sabi nga ni Lois, 'di ba, na-experience na of being an irregular. Siya na rin mismo nagsabi na wala. 'Di ba? Parang normal lang. Well, it's normal din naman na maka-feel na if ma-down ka, 'di ba? Parang kasi parang panibagong routine, panibagong journey na naman yung tatahakan mo since yun nga, may nakasanayan ka before, and it's normal nang na ma-down ka, 'di ba? Yung ma-feel mo na negative, it's normal. But in general, it's okay. Parang ang pinagkaiba lang talaga ay schedule, and we're still students, 'di ba? And yun, nasabi rin sa acceptance, yun nga, parang na-accept niya rin agad yung panibagong journey niya, is that because nakatulong din yung mga friends nga na na-experience na before, which is align din talaga sa goal namin, 'di ba? To share experience, 'di ba? Well, sa project namin, sa videocast namin na merong 6 episodes, 'di ba? Magkikwento kami talaga ng iba't ibang experiences for you guys na nanonood, na para magkaroon ng insights or expectations sa iba't ibang kwento ng mga students. And ayun.
Sa akin, if mapapansin nyo sa buong recording na tong episode na to, very tahimik lang ako. Very unlike the other episodes na daig ko pa ang guest kung magkuhento. Pero
Parang yung last episode lang, eh. 'Di ba? Parang siya lang nagsasalita.
yes. Pero yun. Naikinig ako maigi kasi hindi pa ako Hello, I'm not manifesting. Hindi ko pa na-experience, di ko na-encounter yung other side of life na, may ganun pala. Tama yung kanina pa binibring up na very negative yung connotation pag naririnig agad yung irregular. Marami na agad naiisip yung mga tao. Pero if ngayon, narinig natin kay Lois na, and yun, na figure out natin na wala naman kasi talagang difference. Wala at all.
Maliban sa schedule.
Oh, well, yun lang. Kailangan mong mamili. Actually, mas mahirap yun na experience nila than being a regular student. Kailangan mo mag-deal with new people lagi. Yun, katulad doon sinabi ni Raya na ikaw yung mag-formulate ng sarili mong schedule, ikaw yung magpa-plot ng lahat ng subject while the regular students are mag-enroll lang po ako, bayad na, diretso. Siguro pipila ng mahaba, pero how about the irregular students na aayusin niya today, babalik na naman tomorrow, another day, wala si ganto, wala si ganyan, request na naman. The struggle na fini-face nila. They're actually, usually, ang taas ng, sa atin palang mga regular students, mataas na yung expectations ng tao. What more sa kanila? Yung mga tao iniisip na, dapat mas magaling ka na dyan kasi, usually na-take mo na or may mas mahaba kang time. Kami na-take na namin yan. Dapat ikaw nakapag-prepare ka na something. Hindi ganun. Hindi ganun, guys. Equal lang naman natin siyang dapat ma-take. I mean, there are maybe late nila na-take pero if titignan mo, first time lang din naman nila yun iti-take. I mean, ba't ganun yung connotation nyo on those people? They're actually more brave than the regular students. The courage pa lang na i-push yung course, even may nangyaring, yun nga,
Unexpected.
yes, sa kanila. They can shift anytime. Yung iba, even hindi bumabaksak, nag-shift. Sumusuko na agad. Pero sila ay very stick sa pangarap nila and that is the bottom line.
So guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to answer our evaluation form that is displayed on the screen right now to let us know kung ano yung tingin nyo sa episode na to, kung may nakuha ba kayong something good, diba?
And Balancing the Books is available on YouTube and Spotify.
Syempre, don't forget to follow us para maging updated kayo sa aming latest uploads. We have Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify accounts that i-search nyo lang ang Balancing the Books and lalabas na yun. Meron din kaming TikTok account. Search nyo lang at BBClan1.
And with that, thank you for listening. I am Alex.
I am Lawrence.
And I'm Naraya.
I'm Carl, and this is
Balancing the Books! Woo! Next page.